as usual, subscribe, share, and like the vibes. So today I decided to do a little bit about me video. It'll be a quick one, but I think very necessary. So my name is Talivia, Tal, T, to live, whatever you want to call me. My name actually means upon waters. My mother did not name me. My auntie did. They didn't name me right away because my mom just didn't know what to name me. However, she really liked the name Abigail, so that is my middle name, and it is from the TV show series. I don't know if you guys know it or remember it because I used to watch it while she left me at home, called Young and the Restless. So that's where she got that name. And my auntie, I'm not sure where she got the name Talivia. It is sounding a little bit like tribal. So anyway, I am not an only child. I actually have many siblings. I am in the middle somewhere in all of it, but I have 3 brothers and 7 sisters. My mother, she is Jamaican. However, she does live in Trinidad. So I do have a younger brother. That's where she had her last child. And we're about 20 years apart. So that was her last kid, and we ended up having a big age gap. So as mentioned in a previous video, I am 29 as of this year in 2023. I will be turning 30 very soon, actually. In a few weeks. My birthday is in early October 8th to be exact, making me a Libra sun, Sagittarius moon, and a Scorpio rising. Yeah, like I said, with that being said, my mom is Jamaican, so I have 2 Jamaican siblings that currently live there, and they're in their early 20s. And as mentioned, I'm just in the middle of all of my siblings. I don't have a full siblings. My mom and dad had me and me only. I want to talk a little bit about career, because that's like the base of how I ended up where I am and what I thought I wanted to do and things like that. So as a child growing up, I always thought I would be even on a TV show, like something like Jeopardy. I used to watch that all the time as a kid, and I saw like the women that were on there featured. They'd be wearing like bedazzled dresses, and like there were different outfits every day. So I always thought I wanted to be someone like that was on TV, or like a news reporter, someone that you'd see every day that would get to dress up and be shown on TV. However, that changed in my young years. I moved to Canada when I was 6 years old, so I actually still had a Jamaican accent. I was still speaking patois to my teachers. So in that case, I also had another sibling that was close to me in age. So what they did was held me back a grade. So I spent a little extra time in school, which I didn't like. I do not like school. I just don't like the setting, and also speaking on that, the career path. So during the take your kids to work day and career day, I went like as a young kid in high school. I think I was about 14. Take your kid to work day. I went to the general hospital in Brandon. I live currently in Minnedosa and was going to school in Minnedosa, but I went all the way to Brandon to do my career day. I also thought I wanted to be a nurse or x-ray technician, a lab technician. So during my high school years for career day, I went to the hospital in Minnedosa, Manitoba, and did my career there. Career day there, I began to realize like I couldn't handle the hospitalization scene. It made me very anxious and tired. I remember just like a whole day spent at the hospital, like just walking around following whoever I was shadowing, I could have passed out standing up. And I just remember I just realized like I did not want to do that for the rest of my life. So I didn't end up going or taking any nursing school. I just did the quick path, which was I started off early doing healthcare aid. However, I wasn't registered as one yet, so I decided to go to a vocational school in Winnipeg, Manitoba, while I was living there, and taking care of residents and patients and clients on my extra time, and then registered as a healthcare aid support worker and respite. So something I will never forget, my first concert ever, I went to Akon. So I want to say it was like middle school. My older sister wanted to surprise me for my birthday, and me and my younger sister were able to join my older sister and her friends at the concert, which was Akon, and I'll never forget it. I even use it as security questions and answers for some of my online things here. So my first job that I had, I like I said, started working early. So I remember asking my parents at a young age, like if I could get a job, and like just kept nagging them, and they're like, you're not old enough. And so I remember at the time my stepmother, she was a potato digger. I'm not sure exactly what the right term is, but you stood at the potato belt and you just like took all the bad potatoes out. So she decided one day to take me because I kept asking. And after, I remember I felt so exhausted, and I realized why like people didn't enjoy their jobs. And so with that being said, I ended up getting a bank account. I had my parents take me to the bank and open my own bank account so that I could deposit the check that I had gotten from working. With that being said, shortly after, I remember joining, it's the Yellowhead Center here in Minnedosa, that is what it's called, and they are, the center point of the town, and they help, minors, and not just kids, but people with accessing jobs, job leads. And I remember I joined that and asked my close sister of age to join me as well, and our first job was delivering papers. So we walked around our neighborhood, and we had those like satchels, and we walked to each house and handed out papers, which is something that's not so common anymore, but it's a really good job for kids. And I remember we had, like I said, my own bank account, so I would deposit my checks in there. We would split the check, and then on breaks for school, oh my goodness, we got lunches made, but we would still go downtown with our group of friends, get like Slurpees and slushies, like go to the bakery, get donuts, and just like unnecessary things. I remember my mom found out and just like had a freak out on us, because like I said, we had things like lunch meat at home, and we just weren't making lunches. We were using our money that we were making. Also, I had started my own business during that time, doing lawn mowing. I remember I liked doing that at home as it was, because I sweat. So I liked the idea of working out while getting things done. And I started my own business and had, like I said, my sister that is close of age with me during that time in that business. We had a few different clientele who we would have, every week we'd go and mow their lawn, and I made really good money that way. I found out that, I was capable of making my own money, like I said, at a very young age. So what I did was I wanted a job that I could go to every day and that I could get a check from bi-weekly. So what I did was, I remember I had a close friend in in high school. It was early high school, like 15 years old, and her sister worked there already. And I remember always going to the store, and like her sister would bring me in, and she had this like demeanor about her. She had like very much like straight face, like, and I was like, you know what, I could probably do that and be in a better mood most of the time. Like, I liked dressing up and getting ready, and like I liked the idea of people coming to the store and seeing what I looked like and getting what they wanted, and like having conversation and things like that. So it definitely worked out in my favor. I actually, what I did was asked this friend of mine if she could ask her sister if they needed people, if they were looking to hire, because I was looking for a job. And you know, she was like, she thought that maybe she wanted to do that same job too, but she was like almost scared of her sister, her older sister, so she didn't end up asking. And what I did was, I remember I had this like beautiful dress on that I had borrowed from my sister that day, and it was a blue flowy one, and it just fit right, and I had a cardigan on. I thought, this is the day. Like, we used to go to what it's called, Blazers. It's still the name here today now, and it's where you would get slices of pizzas and subs on one side. You could rent movies and just different things. It was just like a cool store to be at. It reminded me of like a Blockbuster, but even cooler. So I remember going in there. It was a very busy hour. It was lunchtime, and the owner's daughter, she also worked there during the daytimes weekly. And I remember going in there, and the boss was there, and my dad knew of the boss, and I even asked him, you know, like, hey, could you ask him if they are hiring, so that he could hire me? And my dad didn't, you know, but because he thought, okay, like, you're a little bit too young to work, and I don't know, like, he just didn't, I guess. So yeah, like I said, I took it upon myself to bust a move, and I went in there on the busiest hour. I was buying lunch as well, and I remember going up to the daughter of the owner, and I was like, hey, I have my resume. I'm wondering if you guys are hiring. And she's like, you know what? We are. I'll take your resume. And I was so excited. And what had happened was, the boss actually called the school. So they mentioned my name on the intercom, and they were like, oh, whenever you're ready, come to the front. And I'm like, oh my goodness, my heart was beating. I was so anxious but so excited, and I like pretty much got hired on the spot. I remember I just was like busy from day one, like just getting to learn everything. There was two sides, like I said. One side was the side you started on, and it was like sub making, pizza making, and they all of a sudden like switched me to the other side where you sold smokes. I wasn't even like old enough, but they like trusted me to do that, and I was so excited to be at work and just like making my own cash. I would work almost like every day, and it was a store that was open the latest until like midnight on the weekends. And so sometimes I would get to sneak away to parties like at early age, like after I was done my shift, and making my friends, you know, like pizzas and subs. And that friend of mine also got hired, and then also other friends of mine got hired as well in that store. So it was a really good high school job, until I worked there 5 years. So the last few years I actually ended up gaining so much weight because I would just eat and eat and eat, and then I just was like bloated, and like just, I didn't like standing on my feet. It was just like the pain of gaining so much weight. Like, it was actually pretty disgusting. Like, I could feel the pain of getting cellulite and dimples and like just like stretch marks everywhere. And anyway, so it was amazing until it wasn't. And that was all on my part, right? It's like all up to you. It's to each their own. So like I said, I really enjoyed it until I didn't. So that job carried me until I graduated, and I made my way to the city where most of the people that graduated in my town went if they didn't travel to Australia for a year. So with that being said, I like I said, I liked making my own money, but I moved to the city to go to school, and that didn't end well for me. Like, I didn't go well. I pretty much signed up for the class 13 courses, and just like expected one thing, and it was a different outcome, and I did not like it, and I dropped out, and like failed the classes too. Like, it was basic biology and like things like that, but I didn't like the idea of school. I just didn't like being there. So what I do for work here now is, like I had mentioned in a previous video, I decided to grab the reins on the horn here and grab the wheel of my own life and start a business of my own. I've worked for people throughout my career and lifetime, and I finally decided that this is something I could do on my own, and where I'm able to make my own work hours and show up for myself, which motivates me to do what I do every day, which is cleaning and house organization. I even did a little bit of cleaning this summertime, painting this summertime, which was cool and different. I'm very detailed and I can be picky. That's why I think I'm very hard on myself, is like the self expectations and just like I said, like it's hard to base things off of expectations. So that's something that I needed to like draw back on and like take my time with. Something like a weird fact about me, like back in the day in school, I used to be like quite artistic, and I would win the art contests back in my younger years, taking my time with drawing, coloring. Like I said, I could be very detailed, and I also used to enjoy reading to some extent, which I don't now. I don't really take the time to do that like I should, but I would win those book contests as well and book entries. I'm very competitive, and I obviously like winning. I don't know who doesn't. So I used to take things like that very seriously, and like during school, that's all you had to worry about, right? So I would definitely try. And I would say, back in the day, I was really obsessed with, I'm not an animal person, but like I was really obsessed with tigers. I would have posters, and like I said, those book scholastic days, I would like buy posters, and they would be of like white tigers, and I just loved the looks of them. And I feel like that is one of my spirit animals. They're just fierce and like without trying, you know what I'm saying? So I would say if I was to pick a spirit animal, that would be that. I wanted to say this is one of the last things I'll speak on. There is actually more I had to say than I thought I did, but something I wanted so badly to change as a kid, apart from my curly hair, I wanted it to be straight. So right now it's like curly straight, it can never really be just like pin straight unless I got it professionally relaxed, which I don't want to wreck the curls that I do have. So right now it's a little bit in the middle. Like I braided it last night after I straightened it, and this is the outcome. It's kind of like stringy, but apart from wanting pin straight hair like all the other girls in the school, was my name. I was always one of the last ones on the list. The name's being called out, and nobody could ever pronounce my name. It's still like that to this day, which is totally understandable, but I've definitely accepted it. But I always wanted to change my name. I remember like as a kid, I was like, what age do I get to change my name? Like I was always, and also while we played pretend or whatever it was, whether that was with my sisters or on the playground at school, I always had like basic names that I would want, like Kadian, or like I can't even remember, because all I'm thinking about is the names that I would pick for my kids now here. But something I always wanted to change was my name, until I got comfortable enough with it, and I like having a different name, honestly. I don't want a basic name for myself. And I realize there's like a reason why I have my name and why it is what it is. It's funny because like my family members, they actually call me Chin. So growing up, my mom, that was my nickname was Chin, because in Jamaica they do have a lot of Asian people that reside there. And not only that, I suppose I looked Asian, so my family does refer to me as Chin, and so I didn't have to worry about you know, them calling me Olivia. But I do remember, you know, while that transition was happening with us attending school, my sisters would refer to me as Chin at school, and I would get so angry. Like, I'm like, no, do not call me that. Like, so that nobody could get it twisted and everybody knew what my name was. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to do a little bit about me. I think this video is overdue, and yeah, I'm happy to be making content like this, and you know, hope to be making more, because it's not only like my self therapy, but it does honestly help me get a lot off my chest. And I like the fact that I've come across other people's videos that have helped me in the past, and you know, just hope to do the same. So take care, everybody. I hope you're having a great week, and as always, subscribe, share, and like the vibes.